Donald Trump convicted on 34 felony counts. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, thanks for coming to my channel. Go ahead, subscribe, hit notifications. Thanks. So Donald Trump convicted on 34 felony counts in the New York hush money case, which isn't really the hush money case because, I mean, that's what they've been calling it on all the media and everything, and Trump is right.
Shut the fuck up.
The media, CNN and MSNBC, they are all biased, but they're not biased against Trump. They're biased for the wealthy and biased against everybody else in the country. Not Trump. Trump isn't singled out. In fact, Trump has always benefited from the media, CNN, MSNBC. He wouldn't be who he is today without the media. In fact, he was a completely failed businessman when The Apprentice came out and revitalized his reputation as a great businessman, which he's not.
There is a genius to what I'm doing. You do know that I go from here to there, and it all comes back into a beautiful picture. I was going to say he's full of bullshit, but I don't want to use bad language. I do like junk food. Who doesn't? I won a lot of golf. I'm a nice golfer. A nice golfer. I'm very good at imitating swings. Dr. Martin Luther King on steroids. It reminds me of this fly that's driving me crazy up here. I'm able to talk about things, although I do have a gag order. This fly is brutal, so I know he's in heaven. My mother, I guarantee it. My father, I think. I don't like flies. What's an indictment? What's an indictment, please? I got indicted 4 times. And, why? I don't know. But I love my family so much, and I love my country so much. I love things. I work all different days. I don't discriminate. Tijuana! We will start negotiation now. No way. I said, way. Don't do that. Why would we do this? Are we stupid? Why would we do this? I don't want to ever say this, you know, Bing, I don't know. Who the hell wants to do business in France? This guy with no IQ. Emmanuel, real patriots. You look at a can, I know how long it's been there. But that was peanuts. Are you having a good time considering the subject matter is so terrible? I say to myself.
He had 3 casinos fail in Atlantic City, where it's like, how bad of a businessman do you have to be to lose money at legalized gambling, where you feed people drinks and they just throw their money at you? You're not selling them a product, you know, you have a building and of course there's expenses, but it's one of the easiest businesses there is if you could get into it. It's the cost of entering into the casino business is enormous. That's why Donald Trump could afford it. His dad was a good businessman. He was never a good businessman. He just inherited $400 million. If he had just put that $400 million in a high yield savings account or in the stock market, he would be more wealthy than he is today. Not more wealthy than he claims to be, more wealthy than he actually is. So growing up in the 70s and 80s and 90s in New York City, I'm from Nassau County, New York. Trump is from Queens, so I mean, it's like 5 minutes away, really. You know, I knew all about Trump. I never really liked him, but a lot of my friends idolized him. He was involved in professional wrestling, which I never cared for, but a lot of my friends did. On Saturday mornings when we were little kids, a lot of my friends would watch, professional wrestling, Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, and I mean, there was a bunch of guys back then, just like there's a bunch of guys now. This is pre-rock. A lot of my friends would watch professional wrestling, and I'd watch like X-Men or the Avengers or cartoons and stuff like that. I was kind of a dreamer when I was a kid. I loved watching cartoons about adventure and movies and all that stuff. Trump was idolized by all my friends where I grew up. Even now, most of them, I think, still idolize him and vote for him and stuff.
Ever feel like a loser? A sucker? Someone who got played? You should, because if you still support Trump, that's what you are. You got played by this guy. All his promises, come on, they're as real as his hair. He never built the wall. He never did the trade deals. He was never going to. It was all a show, a con game. He said you'd get tired of winning, but you're just tired. Tired of giving him money to pay for his lawyers. Tired of watching him embarrass you. Tired of his lies, his lawsuits, his trouble. Tired of defending a man who doesn't deserve your support. You know he won't change. You know he's the architect of all his problems. But he thinks you're gullible, that you can't figure him out. If you keep supporting him, you're proving him right.
As far as president goes, I think he did a terrible job. I know everybody says the economy was so much better, but there's a lot of other factors that go into the economy besides the president. But I don't like Joe Biden either. I've hated Joe Biden since he did some things when he was a senator years ago. In fact, he was fundamental in going to the mat for the banks to make student loans not for bankruptcy. So in other words, if you have student loans, if you borrow money from the government to run your business, or if you borrow money for whatever, you could declare bankruptcy, like Donald Trump has done with 6 of his businesses. You get all your assets taken away, or the assets that are involved with that bankruptcy, but the debts go away. Joe Biden was fundamental as a senator, because he was the senator for the banks from Delaware, in making it so you could not declare student loans in your bankruptcy. So you could still go bankrupt, but your student loans are the only thing that are undismissible. You can't get rid of them. So I hate him for that. And other things he did as a senator. Obviously, he was the senator for banks. Bankers are some of the worst people on the planet. Bankers are part of the reason that we're in the situation we are now, with really wealthy people on one side and everybody else on the other side. So inequality is the main problem in this country. Inequality is the reason that people are voting for Trump. One of the reasons, and I understand why people vote for Trump, but Trump is like the worst spokesperson for the masses, basically. He's a populist, but he's a far populist. Like, he says the right things to a lot of people, but he himself does not live that way. And he is a wealthy, privileged person who has been his whole life. He never got his hands dirty. He's never worked. So don't let him fool you or anybody else fool you. Trump is not a working man. He's privileged. He's got golden toilet seats, for Christ's sakes.
You're proving him right.
I can tell you he is as sharp now as he was when I knew him 30 years ago.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
Those cognitive test results are absolutely fantastic.
We built almost 500 miles of wall. Even the Obama administration says it in their stats.
He's incredibly sharp. He's got a better memory than I have, than you have.
But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb, he got us into the Middle East. How did that work out?
There's no decline, zero.
President Obama, he should immediately resign.
President Trump is fit. He's ready to go.
Viktor Orban, did anyone ever hear of him? He's the leader of Turkey.
Of course, Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary.
He makes one little mistake, the media goes insane.
Obama wants to, he doesn't even mention them in his statement.
Well, you mean President Biden?
His cognition is top-notch.
Sioux Falls, thank you very much, Sioux Falls. So, Sioux City.
Voters next year will be able to decide, do they want to vote for a vegetable for president or somebody who's got energy and mental acuity?
We would be in World War II.
We have the two terrible choices, Trump and Biden, and then you got Kennedy on the outside. Another, don't get me started with him, another silver spoon Nepo baby who grew up with all the privilege in the world and thinks he knows everything. And he's not right about vaccines. He is not going to win. If you vote for him, I mean, you could vote for him. One of my friends here is going to vote for him. I personally am going to bite my tongue and probably vote for Biden just because I don't want to see Trump in the White House again. I'm a federal worker. He's not good for federal workers. Last time, so federal workers were underpaid. There's a big stigma about federal workers. We do nothing. It's not true. We do a lot. We're underpaid. We get like a 3% pay raise per year. As soon as he became president, he canceled the pay raises for, it's not much, but just being that petty, a rich guy like him coming in and canceling pay raises for all federal workers, I mean, that's just ridiculous. So anyway, my question is, if Trump is on probation, in jail, or on home arrest, are you still going to vote for him? Go ahead and write it down in the comments, yes or no, if you're going to vote for Trump. I'd love to have this unofficial poll and see what people think. According to the left, less people are going to vote for him. According to the right, it's going to boost his popularity, him getting convicted and going to jail. So write a comment, write down what you think if you want, but answer the question, are you going to vote for him if he's convicted? Are you going to vote for him if he's in prison, home arrest, or on probation? Okay, guys, I just wanted to talk about that. My next video about traveling overseas will be coming out soon. Thanks again. Peace.